Hey there, welcome to Spotting with Jones. I'm Jones. This is Annie. Here's what we're working on. Today we're going to work on some contortion skills, the splits, nice standard move. We're doing it in 6 different exercises. Remember when you're partner stretching that the person who is being stretched is in control. They get to say more, less pressure. Also, relax your face and make sure you take nice deep breaths. What you'll need is a mat, a towel, and some blocks. Let's get started. So the first exercise that we'll do is a pike stretch on the blocks. We want to release the hamstrings and also focus on some movement of the hip rotators. So Annie, your practitioner, is going to be in a pike position. The pressure I'm going to give her is going to be from mostly the lower back, and we'll do this for about a minute. So go ahead and start with us. Make sure you get a good warm-up before we do any of these partner stretches. That's important for blood flow moving through your body. Now, I can give pressure from the lower back, but mainly I'm trying to get her chest and head reaching towards her feet with the pressure. Not pushing down, but reaching out. And that's something that's going to help her encourage to crease at the hip. Also, when you're doing stretches like this, where the leg is the one that we're focusing on, you want your feet either flexed or pointed. Either one is fine, just as long as you're sending energy out through the end of your toes or out through the heel. Okay. A couple other positions that I can spot her from. I can get my chest down on her, and also, once again, I'm pushing forward and out. Okay. About halfway through the minute. The other thing I can focus on in this position is helping her legs rotate inwardly. Okay, like I can look at her feet and notice, okay, her legs are winging out to the outsides a little bit, so I can help her rotate those legs in. Also spreading the glutes, spreading the cheeks. Okay, about 10 seconds left. And we want to maybe give a little more pressure for that final 10 seconds. And come out of it. Nice job. Okay, we're going to go ahead and keep going through all of the stretches on one side. So for the next one, you're going to have to choose which side you want to do, and then we'll go back and we'll redo the other side. So for the next exercise, we're going to start on your back. These blocks underneath you are for if you want an extra stretch. You can just lay flat on your back if you want. But we're going to do an over split in the split position. My focus is on the hamstring still for this. This is going to be a little bit of PNF stretching, which is Proprioceptive Neuromuscular Facilitation. You don't have to remember that. But what's important about that is that I'm going to give 10-second countdowns for her to either be pushing back on me or releasing completely. Okay? So for this stretch, I want to just block the leg so it doesn't start lifting off the ground. And then I'm going to give some pressure to this leg. And first, let's just have her say when, so we'll know when to stop.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start there for 10 seconds and we begin. 3, 2, 1, and then push back on me for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. We'll do about 3 rounds of this stretching, 10 seconds each. 3, 2, 1, and then push. Nice deep breaths in between. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Now I'm only adding as much pressure as I started with. I'm not really changing how much I'm pushing, but you'll notice her leg going deeper. And 3, 2, 1, this is the last round. And 3, 2, 1. Good. Now from here, just give a couple of little bounces. Just let her feel the motion of the hip joint. okay? You want that leg to be creasing at the hip, not changing the hip positioning, but moving the leg, the femur bone in the hip socket up towards the head, okay? And come on out of that. Good job. So the next exercise is going to be a lunge position stretch. So the practitioner will have one knee up, one knee down. If you want to fold up your mat and have a little bit more cushion for your knee, I recommend that. So the practitioner will be reaching the hips down towards the ground. Now it's not just straight down, forward and down, and that's the pressure that I'm going to give from the back. Okay, so I'll lean in. We'll do this for a minute, and I'll show a different version about halfway through. Okay, so begin. And my pressure down and forward is going to be only how much she says she needs. Okay, so she might say more, she might say less, and it's up to her. You can also lean forward with the chest, and that's going to give the hip a different experience as well as leaning back. And what I'll show now is that second version. Okay, so she can give me her hands and keep doing that version, or you can try this one. And I'm going to push with my foot, so I've got to balance a little bit, push with my foot on the hips, and then help pull back on her spine and arms here so that she's kind of reaching in opposition. Okay? About 10 more seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good job. Okay. Okay, so the next one is going to be from the same position, but we're going to release more of the quad by bringing the heel to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to position myself right behind here and use my inner thigh to block the foot. Okay, from there she won't be able to bring it back, and I can now lean forward with my hips to bring the heel closer to the bottom, as well as push with my hands. So this motion here is going to give her a little extra opener of the hip and quad, and we'll hold this for about a minute, starting 10 seconds ago. Here we go. You can change the position of the upper body, either leaning forward or leaning back. You could also try this one where you can try to reach forward and put your elbows on the ground. Why don't you try that one? Yeah, so it really is then reaching the upper body, and the hips will follow the spine a little bit, reaching towards the ground a little bit more. That's great. And 10 seconds. And release. Nice job. So for the next exercise, you'll want to use your towel and your blocks just to help with your upper body and for your hands. We'll put this under the front foot. Okay. So we're working on true split alignment, which means as the spotter, I'm going to make sure her hips don't start twisting or opening or winging out to the sides. So we'll just start in the lunge. I'm going to have her straighten her leg in the front, and we'll slide the foot out on the towel. Okay? I'm just going to be behind her, making sure her hips stay in perfect alignment, upward, downwards, forward, and backwards as she slides out. Now, this is a position that can be a little compromising for the practitioner, because they're not going to be able to go as far down as they're used to. Okay, what we're focusing on here is the actual muscles that we need to stretch for a better split, which can be on the outside of the hamstring. If you open up your hip, you're going to be stretching more the inner thighs, but what we need to then get your splits farther down is to keep this hip position so that the outside of the thigh can be stretched. Okay? Also the front of the hip flexor as well. If we wing out, we don't get to stretch that as much. So we don't care about going down as far. We care about keeping the alignment for this stretch, which might be not as far down as they're used to, and that's okay. It's okay for this one. I'm really twisting her hips, right? I'm making sure that she's getting that encouragement to keep it square. We've got about 10 seconds left. I'm also giving a little pressure down on that hip to encourage it to go down and upwards on the other side. And that's Good. So now we're going to do the full expression of the split. So however far down as your practitioner can go, with your hips opening up to the side is fine. What we're going to do is, as a spotter, I'm going to go around and I'm going to check some of the different areas. Now, if they're not all the way down, you can do these same things. But if they are down all the way, they can do a little bit of an oversplit by lifting the front leg. And I can just put some pressure on the hip and encourage her to crease even more on that front leg by lifting up. We're going to do a split for a minute, and I'll do these different exercises as we go. Okay? I can do the same with the back leg. I can slide my hands underneath the knee, lifting up on the knee, and then also encouraging that hip to go down as I'm lifting the leg up behind. A couple other things you can try from this position is a chest down. Go ahead and collapse over the front. I can give a little pressure down on the hips here as she's moving forward. That's great. You could also do foot to head or to the back, just like we were doing in the previous stretch. I can block that leg there with my inner thigh, and then I can pull her toes closer to her head or back with my hands and my inner thigh there. Okay, we've got about 10 seconds left. So we'll do then the final little exercise where I can grab her armpits or hands and give her a little upward lift and kind of bounce those hips in place. Okay? And then go ahead and find your own position. And there we have splits in 6 steps. Good work, everybody. So thanks for joining us. Remember, when you're doing splits or any kind of contortion and partner stretching, that you want to breathe deeply, relax your face, and communicate. Thanks again for joining us.
Bye.
If you want to then stop the video and watch it again, do the other side, or switch roles. Thanks, enjoy.
Hot, 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 I love what you do. I said hot, 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 I feel you coming through. Hot, hot, hot,